Hey, hello everybody. Ah, we're back to another episode of Vtuber Gaming Talk today, and as you can see, we have a chocobo here. We have a chicken. Um, it's a little friend of mine that it's been a while since I wanted to invite to the show, and the opportunity arose. So here he is. Would you like to introduce yourself a little better? Oh, very recently. The soft view. It's technically, yeah, the video does that a lot, so yeah. Nah, I just showed a little bit of it yesterday too, so I believe it. I mean, I would like to say, yeah, uh, even though talk shows are pretty common, not many people got into some talk shows, so yeah. Besides, yeah, I believe so. Everybody has their own way to do it. I have my way, and everybody has their own way of doing it. I like my format. I'm on the. I like to think my show is on the weird borderline between the difference in between the talk show and a podcast, which sounds like the same thing, and for me at least, it's the same thing. Like usually, when at least this is a little trend that I see every time. Most big talk shows are usually taking place either on a bar or some class of nightclub related to drinking. But in my case, I wanted to do it on a podcast studio, but with the sense that we are just two friends that just so happen to have the equipment. We are literally just two guys chilling out with mics that are supposed to be on. Like that's the kind of thing I wanted to go with. But yeah, true. Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, usually podcasts are centered on just one topic. In my case, it goes a little bit one-sided than the other. It's kind of like a ping pong. We brought a topic, we talk about it, then we jump to another one, or we go to a tangent and we go for that tangent the whole way. Right. Yeah, that's tough. Oh. Yeah, that's usually part of the reason why I don't want to do a full-on podcast because one, it's hard to keep track on just one topic. Two, I don't want one single person just taking the whole conversation just for a rant. I mean, they can, but I might just interject with something or bring out another topic just to alleviate a little bit of the stuff. And since the show is called VTuber Gaming Talking specifically, I still technically focused on the gaming side of things, but I also like to go branch out in a little bit at talking about the content behind the VTubers or how is the content being made. So Right. Right. Yeah. Right. hmm In my case, I just didn't want to deal with more than just one person. It's hard to control and like gather people for like a podcast type of thing. And besides, usually the podcast you do with the same people. In a talk show, usually you invite someone. That's one of the things that separates this from a normal podcast to a talk show. It's never the same one. Yeah, it's yeah. That may vary a little bit because of the availability of some guesses, time zones, and all that. I need backup plans, and I need backup plans like a month, maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, just in case. Like, yeah, in my case, it is hard, but at the same time, it isn't if you have the time to do it. Like, you have conscious as well. I want to do the show at the beginning of the next month. So 2 weeks earlier, before the month ends, I will reach out the person I have in mind. If they answer immediately or in a few days, I have time enough to just prepare them, tell them, well, this date, maybe this date. If they can't, yeah, and the time frames I usually just spread out once they confirm they can. So they just separate the date. If they need the time frames earlier, I will just handle it. But yeah, preparing the show is not that hard since I'm just talking to one person. That's the easy part technically. Finding the chemistry on the stream though, ooh, yeah, that's the hard part and the fun part. hmm That's the fun part. Yeah, sometimes it is easy, sometimes it isn't. Part of the reason why I'm picky with the person I select is because one, I need to know you a little. I watched your content a little bit, and I'm interested in having you on the show. What hence you're here. Part of it, that's all you need to do. It's just let me watch your content, don't push it, and that's that. It's not that hard. If I click with your content and I like your attitude, I like you as a person, then maybe we can try it. Why not? This is technically, yeah. In my case, I do this show for a couple of reasons. Like, I want to game with other people, but I know that 9 times out of 10 they might have a weaker PC than mine or a toaster, and they're just streaming whatever they can. So I made this show so it's really easy on resources. We can hang out, we can just talk about stuff, and have a good time either way. Like having a collab without needing to game. Although I like video games, I like playing video games. I really do. I sometimes care about the people that cannot enjoy them as much as they want or as they can. Uh, oh, fuck. Hold on. Yeah. Huh? What the hell? Hold on. Hammer. Handle it. Now it should be good. Hold on.
What the fuck, Dan?
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, I've been.
Oh
here.
God.
Good thing we were just like 6 minutes in. Cool.
All right, cool.
That, I need to check that after that. But
Gotta check the OBS. Gotta have the metrics up.
so
Gotta have the volume metrics.
TLDR, helping here was just talking about he has a podcast, and we're talking about the difference between a podcast and talk show, and how this show specifically, it's like a really thin line between those two. And yeah.
Yeah, and then we were talking about the games. So back to like the games. It's so much harder now these days to try to get people to play with you. It's because now there's like all these different specs, especially on the PC side. There's all these different specs. There's all these different combinations, and there's always like people that have very specific tastes, right? Back when you were like younger, living in your neighborhood and whatever, and gaming was just kind of like a niche little thing. If you want to play a PlayStation game, you had to have a friend that had a PlayStation, and then you would either ask to borrow the PlayStation or come over and play games with them too, right? But you always had someone that had like an Xbox, someone had a PlayStation, a GameCube, Wii, DS, Game Boy Advance, PSP, whatever, right? But now in like more of the adult years, it's more like, okay, do you have a strong enough computer? No, why not? Kind of conversation.
True.
But it's just like now it's like so much harder to find games. And I think games have gotten a little stale for a lot of people too.
I mean, the fact that, okay, so I lived on that era for the PS2 specifically. I remember asking friends to like borrow some of their games, and I give some of mine, and we were just trading each other for a little bit.
Yeah, and then you just give it back something like a week later.
Same, like it's the same deal. I give them back the games the same day they give me back my games. So that's that. But making everything digital makes that super hard. Like you cannot hand games like that. You can do it on Steam with the family stuff that they implemented. You can play games from other libraries if you are connected with your friend. And that's limiting in and of itself, because if your friend wants to play that, whatever game it is, you lost access to that library for a little bit until he finished.
But even then, it's like, oh, let's go, like, for example, let's go, like, if I told my friends, hey, let's go play Overwatch, we can't all jump on Discord, not the Hot Takes No Cap podcast crew, because two of us are on PC, but the other one's on PlayStation.
Well,
and so there's no Discord we can really use. And if he does use Discord, he has to plug it in from one ear, and his other ears has the game audio. But then we would have to use team chat instead of party chat. And you know how game like audio encoding isn't great, not all the time.
Also,
Overwatch is actually kind of nice though.
If he wants to jump in on Discord, he needs to put earphones. Yeah,
he would have to put separate earphones in, unless if we want to be hearing double audio coming from his headphones.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And we don't blame him either. It's like, no, we play on the platform you like to play. We're not gonna like shit on you, but it does kind of suck that we can't be on Discord, right?
True.
Everyone's on Discord. We have perfect audio. We don't have to worry about teammates or whatever. We just do our own thing. But now we have to jump in party chat. Party chat's not always like great, and some of us have it set up so that we have like push to talk, and so we have to push to talk and everything. Or if we have background noise, is it background noise that our other friends can like deal with, right? But when you're at your friend's apartment and your friend's older sister is just talking up a storm upstairs, everyone has to deal with that, so no one's complaining. You know what I mean? No one's really complaining about that. So everyone just kind of shuts up and just plays together, and you're not even like screaming at each other. You're just talking to each other like back and forth. But here, you gotta make sure all your audio is good, make sure there's like no additional sound, because you technically could get rid of it. And
the toggle for muting, it's super useful.
Yeah. Remember the days of like playing like Call of Duty? You just hear someone munching on chips in the background. Like it's like the dude.
Or the people, that were munching their mics when screaming.
Yeah, they're like shoving their deep throwing their mic down to the point where it's like in their esophagus. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't need to hear the muscles of your throat going off because some kid shitted on you.
Fuck, dude, those days.
But
Where the
but back then
connection
everyone
was
had those
good.
really shitty mics, so no one gave a shit. But now everyone has good mics. It's like, hey, come on, go get a good mic. They're not that expensive.
And those same people will say the same shit for PC parts.
Yeah.
Come on, get a better PC, dude. Nah, it's
Yeah,
not that easy. God damn it.
Yeah, just because you buy a Turtle Beach for $39 does not mean I can buy a processor for $39. Two completely different parts.
If you find a processor for $39,
find-
you better put it away because that thing will explode in any moment.
Yeah, that's like 5-10 years old now. It's
Yeah.
definitely not usable. It's not usable in the gaming sense anymore. It reaches end of life for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like stuff like that. It's like, oh man. Sometimes I was watching a YouTube video recently, and it was a Russian badger. It was like an old Russian badger video. And this one kid just had like a really bad mic, or like someone had, or like a kid or teenager. I'm calling them kids. It was like a kid that had like a really bad microphone, and literally the insult was, "Hey, $7.50 an hour. Go get a new microphone." Minimum wage. Go get a new microphone. They're expensive. Stuff like that. It's like the little nuances of like stuff like that. Especially like when we're like talking now, right? My audio should be coming clear.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And
I make sure so it's not picking at all. At least on my end, I have OBS handle true picking instead of the simple picking it usually has on. So it should be fine.
It should be, right? But that's like the stuff I'm talking about. Like this microphone's a Blue Yeti. It's like $80 technically, $60 depending.
I have a snowball here with a towel on top, so it works.
Yeah, so yeah, you have it muffled, and then I have like my foam around it too, so it doesn't get the puffs or the S's, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people that just play games casually don't know that. As streamers, we know that because we have to know it.
Yeah, it's part of the job.
Yeah, but then like gamers, there's like people that are like their microphone is like maybe not even like an inch away from their mouth, right? They're only like a couple centimeters from their mouth, and it's like, hey, back that shit up. That's supposed to be like 5 centimeters out. You need like an inch.
You know,
space.
I was thinking about of the old days. When I was playing League back on 2016, 2017, I had literally 2 headphones on myself playing games. One headphone for the mic, and the other for, well, hearing everything.
Yeah.
The headphone on the second headphone was hanging on my neck, and I had the mic pointing at my mouth the best it could, but it was technically on my cheek. It wasn't pasted to my face, but it was at a respectable distance. So with that, the mic worked. Like it worked like a professional one and everything. I even tried recording some stuff and everything, and it sounded really good. It's similar to this mic.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to like what's called jerry rigging. You have to jerry rig your stuff together where it's like it's sort of meshed together, but if it does its job, it does its job, right? It's not a stupid idea.
It's the MacGyver situation, but instead of building a bomb with just toilet paper, a clip, and whatever the fuck I have, I'm literally just using what I have to what its purpose is. That's that.
Back when I was younger, I remember doing something where I taped my microphone to my face and stuff just to talk, because I had like earbuds. I didn't have like an actual like headset or anything, so I would have it like taped up to my cheek to the side, and then I would talk like that, right? But once in a while, like playing Minecraft or something, the noise would get too loud. I would have to put the microphone into my mouth because that's the only other way I could hold it to get the audio through.
Oh.
It was that bad, but when I was younger.
Dude. Yeah, those days.
Those days were wild.
Yeah, I remember those headphones I used as a mic will not work. The only thing that was working on those headsets was the mic only.
Really?
Yeah. Part of
I had headphones, so like for the longest time, knock on wood too, by the way. These don't happen to these earbuds. Every time I had earbuds, the left one always worked, the right one always busted.
It always happens. It always
the right
happens. Yeah. Why though?
And so I don't know. I think it's because of like how much like wiring is going to the left, because the left always had the microphone. The left earbud always had the microphone, so I always had the better wires, and then the right one had like the whatever leftovers they had.
Right.
Like some of my friends are like, "Why do you only have one earbud in your left of your like your left earbud?" And I'm like,
it's the only one that works.
Yeah, it's the only one that works. There's no point me putting the right one in. I might as well just hear everything else. And for the longest time, for those like cheap Walmart ones, like gummies and the skull candies work fine. The new skull candies are actually much better than they were before. But I have these Sony earbuds. I had this for like 3 years now. It's probably one of the better investments I ever had.
Dude,
like I don't even have like
I got just one-sided hearing. It's insane. Like, holy shit.
And then people are like, why are you spending like 80, 90 bucks on like headphones and stuff? It's like because they actually last longer than a year.
True.
It's it's the investment in for it. Like I have Razer headphones somewhere in my room here, or I may have left it.
I need to send this. I need to send these headphones to the fucking Guinness World Record book. It lasted 4 years at this point.
Oh yeah,
and going for 5.
Do you remember the Razer Krakens, the 7. Or like the 3.0 ones?
Yeah, I remember.
Those lasted 4 years under extreme abuse. And I mean, like, I used to take those headphones to school and back, and I used to be one of those kids that had like the 20-pound backpacks.
Oh shit.
Laptop, textbooks, it literally went through everything. It was definitely duct taped to hell. Wow. And the parts were like falling out. You could see all like the parts. Like literally just one bad rainy day in my backpack and I was fucked. Yeah. But it lasted 4 years from my middle school up until like my sophomore, junior year in high school.
Fuck.
And then I bought another set and they lasted 2 years. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
They were like, why buy Razors? I'm like, they last for a while. The new ones kind of suck, but they last for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, say whatever about the pricing of those things. At least they last.
Yeah,
they're made to be thrown around by angry people.
Oh yeah, that was under heavy abuse of like Minecraft and like Minecraft and CS:GO and Team Fortress 2 and a little bit of League. Yeah, I've thrown those headphones. My brother when we were younger, he used to mess with those when I was at school. So he'll get like random cracks like every so often because he's just like trying to wear it, trying to play with it and whatever. Yeah, those things were like perfect. Whatever they were made that time, I should have bought 2 or 3 if I could have. But they were like 80, 90 bucks anyway, so. So they were like super expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
especially at the time too.
Yeah. I mean, headphones in general are pretty expensive. That's usually I usually look at them as the last thing I'm going to buy when I'm buying like tech stuff.
Those are like, you have to do research. You have to take like the time to like look them up, right? Like I think the new one that's like the indestructible is the HyperX, but I forget which HyperX they are.
Yeah, good thing
or
there
the
is
Astros.
Reviews of videos about some of them. They help a lot with that.
Like sound quality, but realistically, I just need them to work for as long as possible. If it's sound quality, technically I can use multiple headphones and it still sounds good, then I'm fine.
Yeah, good thing we are not sound engineers, because then we need to worry about the
I almost was.
Almost?
Almost. If I did take my computer science path, I would have gone to sound engineering and the video engineering.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I actually had like a really, because I was in band and stuff, so I had like a really good ears tuned to like certain sound frequencies. And so when I took my audio class, I redid the Call of Duty 2019 Modern Warfare trailer and added my own like stuff in. And my teacher said word for word, he was like, if I didn't know this trailer, like the back of my head, he said this would have been flawless like audio. It was like a very small clip too. Because I did helicopters, I did gunshots, I did silence gunshots, the mag reloading, and like the bullets coming out of the chamber sound effects. I did all that. And all I did was use a box, my Switch, like the sliders of the Switch, the controller part of them, and I think I just grabbed like a penny or my keys and just kind of tossed them. And that's all I used.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the helicopter, I just used a fan with a piece of paper attached to it to make it fly.
Yeah, nice.
Foliage, or Foley sound or foliage, I forget what it's called. It's like so much fun. If you ever get the chance to learn how to do it, it's like the funnest thing in the world. Because you just do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
You know how you get strong like hits in a movie? You slap like pork roast.
I saw a few videos and documentaries about sound making, like the sound effects and all that. I remember seeing on a direct for Warframe how they capture some of the audio for the enemies and the sound effects of some guns. And it's amazing how much they mixed up for making it a realistic sound of some of the stuff. The filters they put on the voice actors for the robotic side of things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Did you going off gaming, do you know the anime Fire Force?
Yes, a little bit. I didn't
Have
watch
you
it,
watched it?
No.
The sound design on that's so good. It's so good.
I have a friend that keeps recommending me that.
It's very good. There's one specific sound. If you ever watch it, there's gonna be one specific sound. You're gonna hear it, and you're gonna be like jaw drop, nuts fall to the ground. You lost. November. You lost in November, basically.
Shit.
But what I found out was that sound effect was the bruh, like the bruh sound, like sound bite. They use that as the sound effect.
You're kidding.
I've heard rumors. I heard it from multiple people now, like on different occasions, on different levels of like anime lovers or like audio lovers. They're like, yeah, that's the sound effect. And I was like, there's no fucking way. If you watch the anime, you'll know the exact sound effect I'm talking about, because it's like one of the most iconic sound effects in that anime, because it only happens like once or twice. I love the music in Fire Force, by the way, too, but besides that. That's why I love sound design. That's why I almost got into sound engineering, because you can just do dumb stuff like that, or like manipulate audios and stuff, because it's all math. That's realistically math.
Yeah. I like to believe if you want to make sound effects, the video editing part helps a lot, since we already need to like pinpoint a little bit of the audio waves on the timeline. We still need to manipulate that, but on a greater scale. We can play a lot more with the audio.
The hard part about editing for videos is when there's like sounds, especially if you can't do it, because there's like sound mapping that you can work with. It's very hard to take out sound that you don't want without losing the rest of the other sound. It's very hard.
Unless you have it all separated on different like audio tracks. Yeah, it's horribly difficult to do that.
Yeah, and then if you manipulate just one part of the audio, it kind of messes up with the other ones. So you have to make sure continuity-wise or consistency-wise, it makes sense.
True. Yeah.
That's like it's like, that's why sometimes some videos when people have like sound effects, when they have a sound effects library and everything, people are like, oh, just give it up. It's like we can just look it up and everything. It's like, yeah, go look it up. Some people spend years like curating their sound effects files to be the ones that they really want. Like I literally have a file, I have a folder somewhere in my computer that just says meme clips and audio. And it's probably all the iconic sounds of like 2020, 2022, like meme, like sound effects and stuff. And I've been like slowly picking them up when I need them.
Would you believe me if I tell you I have literally every single sound effect from Ed and Eddie on a folder?
Really?
On a WinRAR?
That's sick.
Yeah. I have literally everything, every single thing that composed some of the sound effects of Ed and Eddie. And I love that. I don't know how the fuck I found that, but I found that.
There's like a point to like editing where some editors know songs based on like the composer, right? Like, you know how there's like some just like background music?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, just throw this composer on there, and everyone knows the specific like song everyone's looking for. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, did you know like the nude video with like the orchestra in the background? That's a Mozart. That's a Mozart song.
I'm more impressed for the people that knows where some sounds come out. Like, oh, this sound is from this really old movie, or this sound effect is a generic sound effect from Star Wars. This part is
the Wilhelm scream.
How the fuck did you know that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because everyone just has that library, because they found that library that everyone uses. Like the Wilhelm scream. Everyone knows the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah,
it's in every fucking film. The first film was back in like 19 something.
And I think they know where it comes from thanks to Star Wars, right? The generic stormtrooper screaming.
That's the stormtrooper that gets shot and falls off the side going, ah!
Yeah.
But that wasn't the first time it was used. It was used way more before then. It was just because the guy, the composer, the sound engineer just happened to found it in a library and was like, all right, I'm going to do this. It was recorded so long ago.
What the fuck, bro?
It's called the Wilhelm scream because it was some guy named Wilhelm or whatever, or like it got picked up. That's the name of it. But there's like specific sounds that you just hear and you're like, what the fuck? You're like, why is it in this film?
Yeah.
That was like one of the first things I learned in like my audio class. I was like, all right, you gotta learn that a lot of the sounds exist way before you even think it does.
Oh, for sure.
Like you have to be at the very beginning of like filmmaking of like sound with sound. Is that? Like,
that you should be at the very beginning of the sound, like the sound transmission stuff. The beginning of the
people
radio.
were like, as soon as new technology comes out, people are going to be like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I can with this and see how it comes out of it. And guess what? Sound effects was one of those things.
Thank God. Those made it so good at project. Like, the sound part of the project is the most important, I believe.
Yeah, sound. You can have really, what my teachers have told me were, you can have really bad visuals, but if your audio is bad, people tune out so fast. And he's like, example, most kids aren't paying attention to my class right now.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everyone that wasn't paying attention, their head shot up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, see, exactly my point. If you have bad audio, no one's going to give a shit. If you have bad visuals, they might let it pass if you make up in the audio, because a lot of our responses is coming from audio.
True.
Our brains can trick ourselves into like seeing things, but we hear something weird in our house, our head snaps immediately because it prioritizes the audio.
Mm-hmm. That's the only, now that I think about it, the audio part is the only part we cannot elude. Like, our ears are open 24/7, but our eyes and every other sense, it's blocked by something, except maybe for smelling. But that's not the point.
And you no, that's like more correct, because like you remember as a kid when lightning struck, the flash isn't what woke you up. It's the thunder that came before, like after it, right?
Yeah.
The flash had already happened, and depending on who you are, you may have woken up right as the flash disappeared. But the thunder comes rolling around, and immediately your stomach drops like a stone, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" Right? Or you hear like a weird creaking, and you know for a fact that you are alone in your house. You're not going down to the basement at that moment. Even if you had a flashlight and everything, your ears literally triggered a fight or flight instinct on you, and you cannot shut it off unless you mentally shut it off yourself.
True. Yeah, sound mixing it's weird, but it's amazing at the same time. Both the voice acting and the sound effect departments are the most important part you have on a project.
Yeah, I would love to do voice acting one day, but I don't think I have the time or effort, or I can put in the effort to do so. I can probably do some stuff, but not too much.
It's just practice.
Yeah, but you also have to have time for it.
Yeah, you need time for it. But yeah. Now, let's talk about the playlist now that I have it here.
Okay.
So, Pokemon Coliseum, can you tell me about that a little bit?
Pokemon Coliseum? In what regard?
Like, what's your story with it?
So, Pokemon Coliseum, oh god. I don't remember it was my 5th or 6th game on the GameCube. I remember me and my friends going to a yard sale one time. We were just like picking up like whatever our parents wanted to. We were just kind of hanging out. And I remember a guy specifically looking at us two in particular, were like, hey, I'm trying to sell my old Pokemon game. We're like 6, 7 years old, maybe 8 at the time, because he was going to college, right? He's like, hey, I need to get rid of my Pokemon stuff. Do you guys want this Pokemon Coliseum game for like $5? And as 8-year-olds, we're like, is that a lot of money? We don't know if that's a lot of money. So we go and grab our parents. And the guy was trying to sell the game to us for like $5, right? And this was a time before, you know, the internet was a thing. GameStop was really like popular. It was like you couldn't look stuff up like how much was certain games were. So we didn't know it was an expensive game, but we knew it was Pokemon because we can clearly see it's Shadow Lugia on the cover. Or I forget, was it?
No, that was
XD.
the X.
That was XD.
That was
it was Entei and it was the 3 cat legendaries, right? The Johto legendaries.
Yeah, Entei, Suicune, and Raikou.
Yeah. We saw those guys and we're like, oh, it's an actual Pokemon game. We look at the back cover, it's the official logo from Nintendo, right? And my friend's older brother came around and he's like, no, that's an actual game. That's like an official game. And so he bought the game, right? Because there was only one copy. And so after a little bit of time watching him play it a few times, I told my parents, I want to go to FYE and pick up the game. And they're like, if it's on the discount rack, we'll buy it for you. After some time, we found a discount rack for about $10. And so my parents bought it for me. And it wasn't my first Pokemon game. It was like my 6th or 7th Pokemon game. But it was like one of those games where I plugged it in and I forgot how much time had passed at the time too. It was just one of those games because it was so different. The game was so different. And like as a kid, you're reading through every single dialogue. And this was one of those games where like if you read through the dialogue, it told you like things that you needed to know. Or you would have to backtrack and talk to those people again later. And so I like read everything because I saw my friend play for like 2 or 3 hours. And then I started playing through it and it was just like one of those games that I'll be honest, I don't remember if I finished that game because that game was a blur to me. It was one of those games where I just played and then suddenly I just stopped for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure I beat the game and I got all the Pokemon because I remember distinctly me and my friends. I forget if it's XD's the one with Celebi in it, right?
No, XD is the one with Dark Lugia.
Dark Lugia? Who is Dark Celebi? There was a Celebi in one of those two.
I believe that might be another cover for XD then.
It probably was
maybe
XD, because you had to use Celebi to clear it up. So that's the thing though. I don't remember what the end game was. I remember fighting a guy and then just remember stopping, and that was it. I'm pretty sure I like beat the game. But it was like one of my favorite like soundtracks. Just literally going through the tower or wherever the Coliseum was, where like the tower got stronger and stronger every time you went back and you won it. You went through like the tournament style thing. I just remember going through those and just like getting stronger and stronger to the point where I was like, okay, I don't want to play anymore. But it was such a good game because you had to train up the Pokemon, get their dark levels down, their shadow levels down, and then you purify them, and then they immediately get a massive like level jump. I just remember like that being like so cool. It was such a cool concept that you could like capture other people's Pokemon because everyone's been asking. Even as a kid, you were like, I want to catch other people's Pokemon. Why can't I catch other people's Pokemon? Well, this was the game that actually did it. And you actually stole other people's Pokemon, and you're like, oh, I feel bad now.
True. Well, you actually capture them. It's not like the Ranger stuff, the Ranger games that you let free of the Pokemon after using them.
I also love the Pokemon Ranger games. Those were also very fun. On the DS,
Circles.
I broke so many styluses because of those fucking games.
Circles. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to know how I learned how to draw circles really fucking good? It wasn't because of our class. It's just fucking Entei needed 100 fucking circles and you would fuck it up every so often. It resets.
Well, it's technically how... It might be a technique to teach people how to do circles one way or the other. Play fucking Pokemon Ranger. You will learn.
Yeah, play Pokemon Ranger, go fight Entei, and pray to fucking God you can do it in less than like an hour. because that shit was hard. Because people were like fucking jamming their stylus down as kids. We were spinning so much because you had to do 100 circles on him. But like I said, if you fuck up, it resets a certain amount back because you didn't do it fast enough, or you have to go back and redo it and like really go for it. It was like awful. I remember me and my friend spent days trying to catch Entei as the last boss. It was so hard. But all the Pokemon Ranger games, phenomenal. I wish the Switch had a new Pokemon Ranger game.
It might have. Who knows?
But it's not gonna be the same. They have to give us a stylus because I think Pokemon Ranger was made because of the DS.
Yeah,
I am 100% sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those gimmick of the console games.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing okay, like so if they do a Pokemon Rangers on the Switch, they have to make you shake the controller or just
you gotta shake the Pokemon up.
Yeah. What the hell?
Could you imagine if you're shaking and you accidentally hit the lock button, like the release of the controller button, and it just like fling your your screen?
Yes, the good old Wii days.
Oh man. I liked it when they did gimmicks like that though.
Yeah,
because
I think they did a gimmick like that on a Pokemon game. They didn't do that on Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah, but that was for phone.
No, it's on the Switch.
Is it on the Switch?
Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't the no. That's not like a gimmick though.
It's
not
like
comparatively. Not comparatively to like the DS and like Wii.
It's a motion gimmick for the Switch.
Yeah, but it's like almost like every other console could do that. I'm pretty sure the PSP did that before. I'm pretty sure the PSP had motion sensing.
No, that's a PSP, I believe, but I don't know.
Oh, the Vita. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Vita had motion. That's not new. That's not a gimmick.
I don't know.
The Switch is just like a smaller version of the Wii U. It's like no difference. You can't tell me it's different, or it's like a flat version. It's like the 2D. The Nintendo 2DS.
No.
No difference.
The Nintendo Switch is literally a light version of the Wii U. If you think about it, it makes a little bit of sense. A slim version.
It's like what was Nintendo doing? I was like, I don't mind a portable handheld, right? But give me a gimmick. Give me a real good reason. Like, I'm ready to sell the Switch just to get the OLED because that's more of a gimmick than the Switch itself was.
Dude, you have 2 gimmicks on the Switch. Come on.
What's the gimmick? I can slide my controllers out and accidentally yeet them like the Wii, but they're so small that it doesn't matter? Or is it because I can like do motion where I can like twist my body in my chair?
You have 2. Literally, you can play 8-player multiplayer with just smaller screen. You can
who's gonna have an 8-player multiplayer
4-player.
in your house?
4-player, not 8. I
was about to say you need 2. What games allow you to do that though? Who's playing it at home anymore?
True, you have online nowadays.
Yeah, to be online is as good as like AOL.
And I don't believe you will take your Switch out of the charger and take it with you when you have a phone.
Yeah. like seriously, like the Nintendo Online is as good as AOL was back in the day. You cannot tell me it was better or worse. It is literally AOL.
What the hell?
You can't tell me it's bad. It's garbage. It's straight up garbage. The only game I see that I can like do it really well is Splatoon, and I'm pretty sure Splatoon has its own network system.
I don't know. I just heard about having rollback on Splatoon 3, and I'm why?
There was a rollback that happened on Splatoon?
No, Splatoon has rollback netcode for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but that's a thing. That's the only thing I heard about related Splatoon. I don't know why. In fact,
I'm about to buy Splatoon, to be honest, but I need to save money.
I believe Splatoon 3, like, it's weird. Like, I don't know. Splatoon 3, it's a third-person shooter with rollback netcode. I need to investigate what exactly is doing with rollback netcode, but
it's probably just like making sure like the hitboxes are actually like correct or where they need to be.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't, they'll probably roll back just slightly. Like you probably won't see as much. It's probably gonna be like the bullet damage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Nintendo, come on, pick up the pace a little bit on your netcode. I know we're catering to the little kids, but like Jesus Christ, even the little kids can like feel it sometimes. They can tell. They're not stupid.
They are stuck on the early 360 Call of Duty netcode.
The thing is, it wasn't even that worse. I'd rather have a migration host thing pop on my screen, but like, okay, cool.
Oh, dude, the hell.
But even then, back then, it was funny because your audio was still going through. Everyone's voice chats were still going through. You can't really talk through to Switch. I can't go screaming at the Switch unless I want to download the Nintendo app. But even then, people say it's even worse.
Nintendo. What?
Do you not know about the Nintendo app?
Wait.
There's a voice chat in the Nintendo app.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you have to download a voice chat on an app for the Switch.
Yeah. Like, why? Who thought that was a good idea?
If that's a thing, why don't you directly download Discord? That's just there.
Exactly. Why would you do that? No one uses it.
Maybe it's because of the operative system of the console. I don't know.
Remember the amiibos? I don't even see amiibos as much anymore. People have stopped talking about amiibos.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
That should have been part of the Switch.
They
Get your
still
amiibo
come
unlock.
out, which is
I
funny.
do know, but they don't use it anymore. No one uses them.
Yeah, I don't know why. They still function on the Switch, and they still are new amiibos coming out for Smash at least.
But at this point, they're figurines.
Yeah.
Everyone's treating the amigos as figurines, not even like unlockables.
I want a figurine of Minecraft. See if I should make it myself. It's just a cube, a bunch of cubes.
Even that's your first like clay art class.
True.
Or your first 3D printing.
Oh.
You want to test your printer? Print it out on print Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah, that's the easiest one.
I was like, all right, I want to do a test run. All right, let's see how good Alex comes out. And I walk away, walk back. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's 4 blocks. It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking of Minecraft, isn't Minecraft having an update soon? Isn't it supposed to be like the new one?
I believe so.
Yeah, 1.20.
Wow. We're already on the 1.20?
Yeah.
God.
1.19 just came out with the Lord and everything.
Right. The update to the caves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which, by the way, looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. Even though I don't play Minecraft because of a migraine I get every 30 minutes I play, I have to admit, the things they are launching with it, I love what they're doing. Like,
yeah, but it's like 5 years too late for me.
I mean, I started playing on 1.7, and I remember.
Oh, you're such a newbie compared to me. No, 1.7 normal.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, you're such a newbie comparatively. No.
Hold on, you played since the beta or launch? Because
I played since 1.2.3 beta. Pirated.
Okay. Yeah, well,
that was the Wolf update and the Nether update. That's when the Nether came in.
Shit.
And the wolves were a thing.
Wow.
And then 1.2.4 was the Nether update that was supposed to go multiplayer, but it never worked. But if you Hamachi'd it, you were able to get the Nether to work.
Yeah.
That's how a Hamachi server.
That's literally a TLDR of my experience with Minecraft. Like, just Hamachi, whatever version of Minecraft that the guys want to play, and just hang out on a Hamachi server.
Yeah. Because you can just get a cracked version. Remember back then, it's called cracked version. It wasn't called pirated. It's cracked Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. It's technically cracked, yeah.
But I also played Minecraft on the web browser. That was a thing too.
Yeah, it still is a thing, but it's a really old version now.
Yeah, but you know what the game mode was? The first mini game I ever played in Minecraft was sealing lava. So there was a server. You would go in, and one block would break and lava would start spewing out of the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And you only had 10 dirt blocks, so you had to build up and get away, but people would hit you off yours, so you would have to parkour around, and the lava just keeps getting higher and higher. So there's lava coming down from the ceiling, So you can build a hut, but once the lava hits the floor, you need to build up and around. And so people used to play that all the time. That was like my shit for the longest time.
Okay, that sounds fun.
It was fun, especially as a kid. You're like, "Oh my god, there's lava on the floor! Oh no, gotta build up! Oh no, there's lava on my head! Gotta build around! Gotta like break my blocks and hope I can pick up the blocks again." Nope, it went in lava. Now you're
Fuck.
fucking trapped. And you better hope no one's a genius at building, or they're gonna come through the lava and punch you out. But yeah, those were the simple days. That's like when Modern Warfare 3 came out too.
Oh, dude. How long
Or
has
yeah,
it?
Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 would have came out then. CS:GO would have been birth, and then TF2 was at its height.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't it, that was 2014, 2013, right?
Which one? CS:GO.
The highest point of TF2.
It was like I don't remember where TF2 peaked.
I believe that's when the Mankanami update came out and they went fleet.
Oh no, it was way before then.
Oh, okay.
It was a couple years before then.
Right.
The Man vs. Machine update.
That wait, wasn't the Mankanami update before the like? I think it's before or after the. I believe the robots came way later. After the.
Oh, I don't remember.
I
I only played it on and off with a couple of my friends.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Hey, Drazzle, how's it going? Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, I mean, TF2, dude. Wow.
TF2 was a blur for me too. I was a demo. My favorite classes were demo, engineer, and soldier.
Yeah. Well, kind of the same, man. I went for engineer, pyro, sometimes scout, and sometimes demo. Just to vary around.
Demo
but
was so much fun though.
Lately, I ended up hanging around medic. I like playing medic. It's really fun.
Do you still play?
Every now and then, I install the game to play a little bit.
Literally, TF2 made me so fucking good at Overwatch. It's like not even funny.
You know what's funny? I ended up getting good, quote unquote, at first-person shooters thanks to an insane amount of hours on Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah. Well, CS:GO was always my like click-to-head type of game.
It is.
TF2 was I want my fantasy. I want to just hit within a certain area and try to direct hit someone. Rainbow Six Siege was one of those games that I couldn't get into because there was a little too many nuances that bothered me. I was super into it at the beginning. I played it on and off whenever my friends are like, hey, let's jump on Rainbow for a little bit again.
Yeah, it's that how it works. What are you think about the future of Activision's IPs when finishes Microsoft deals?
Ooh, I actually don't know how that's gonna go.
Wait. Oh right, they still buying Activision Blizzard, right?
Yeah, they're still in the process. The deal closes.
Okay, so
next year.
I think I have a theory about it, and that is it will not change at all. But because if you think about it, Activision Blizzard both have IPs that are super iconic, and if they stop pumping out the games, they will lose a lot of money there, because I believe the majority of the value of those companies come from those specific IPs. I'm talking specifically World of Warcraft and Call of Duty for Activision and Blizzard. Overwatch, of course, makes some money too, and you have, well, all the other IPs that Blizzard has, like Diablos, the Heroes of the Storm, and you have on Activision some of the most iconic IPs too, like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. You could do something with them to hand them to other studios. And of course,
Crush.
King. Yeah, I should not forget about
King's
that.
getting transferred over too.
Wait, no, wait, that's Supercell. But yeah, you have iconic IPs on those three, and you need to handle them correctly. What I believe it will happen is, for Call of Duty will be a hard stop. Like we take a year or two to make the next.
Well, we're
game.
already taking a year off next year. Next
Yeah.
year, just no Call of Duty.
Yeah, 1 year, maybe 2 years without Call of Duty. So they prepare
We'll
themselves. So they handed that to a studio that is capable of doing it. Then
No. So what's going to happen? This is my plan. This is my idea here. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off here.
No, it's fine.
as a Call of Duty guy,
Go ahead.
they're not going to get rid of the. They're not going to hand it off to a different studio. They're going to make sure the studios are within lines of Microsoft. Microsoft, in theory, is very high standards. They have extremely high standards, and you can kind of see it in Minecraft already, where the game Minecraft is literally not the same game anymore. The base is still there, but it's very much different, and all the other IPs are going to change. What Microsoft's going to do is going to look at the franchise as a whole and go, okay, which games did not do well, what studios did not do well, and how do we fix this, right? Like the new Call of Duty now, I don't think in my world, in my sphere, not a lot of people are complaining about the game. People are raving about the campaign right now. People that play the beta were like, it's a beta. It's a Call of Duty beta, so it's nothing bad. We don't see anything super bad right now, but it's fun enough that you can do dumb stuff in it again. The thing that's going to change Activision's IPs is whether or not how much pressure is Microsoft going to put on it, right?
Right.
Microsoft's going to put Activision under the pressure cooker and see who cracks first, right? Who's going to blow up. But Call of Duty is going to be one of those games where it's going to probably just stay as is because Activision already knows the community, right?
Yeah, but you know how well. Yeah, it might be just stay like that. They might.
But
just,
that's not.
Microsoft
But that's just
might
Call of
just
Duty.
back up. Might
Yeah.
just back up the teams of Call of Duty with more people or with different teams separated doing different things or something like that.
I'm actually kind of interested in how Microsoft's going to do quality check for these
for
games.
sure.
Because Microsoft, like I said, Microsoft's a very, like, as big as it is, it's a very tight-knit. It's a very tight-knit group. And they're very, very good at putting things out that are, like, either super well done or really bad. Because that means they just lasted.
Alongside the tightness, I believe is the fact that they let the developers do whatever they want. Like, they kind of pick their projects. They have to do it well, but they kind of pick their projects.
Yeah, because they work at Microsoft. They have to be good at their job.
Part of the reason why we don't get like more Banjo-Kazooie games or Battletoads games is because Rare doesn't want to do them anymore. They are just pursuing their own projects.
Yeah,
and
then now you're adding veterans into the mix
Yeah.
of like that been around the studios for so long. It's like, okay, now you got fresh blood into the blood of veterans. And so now the body of the machine is going to be well oiled, basically. You're putting fresh oil into an old machine. And it's like, okay, it's going to clink and clank here and there, but it's going to be running for a while. So we're going to be probably fine for a little bit. And the fact that people are speculating that Call of Duty is not coming out for like next year means that they're going to be doing some internal rework in the company and then starting the next game. Because most games start 5 years before, basically. And now with Call of Duty cycle basically coming to a halt, it's like, okay, who's taking care of the next Call of Duty? Because if it's Sledgehammer again, no one's buying that game. Realistically.
I think after the Brazilian antitrust committee approves the deal, the process along world finishes more quickly. Wow. Okay, that's oddly specific. Like, I have
no idea what they're referring to. I'll be
Me
honest.
neither.
Brazilian antitrust committee approves the process. That's probably more internal politics than anything.
To be completely honest, if Call of Duty goes to a halt, I believe it will be for the best. For a little bit, that's to 1 year. Just give the game the developers to breathe out and work on it to polish it a little bit more.
Well, the thing is, Warzone is the game that's going to keep going. It's the service game, right?
Yeah, it's
The
the
campaign is going to be campaign. People are going to play the campaign
it's the
whether.
Final Fantasy 14 of shooters at this point.
Yeah,
It's the go-to first-person shooter if you want to get into Call of Duty or something like that.
yeah,
If
and
you
play
want
with
an
your
online
friends.
experience alone.
But the cool thing about this Call of Duty that's coming in is Spec Ops is back. People love the Spec Ops missions because they were super fucking hard and they were super intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a new one. The only problem that we're running into now is the pricing of the game. It's $70 for pre-order. I think it's $70 base game too when it releases. So people are like, I don't think I'm buying that. I don't think I'm buying it too, more off the rip.
What the hell?
But if it's a good game like everyone says it is, then yeah, sure, I'll probably pick it up during like Thanksgiving or like Christmas time.
If you
But
if
Warzone's
you-
already out for free.
yeah, free to play battle royale, and the online experience is usually what most people look for a Call of Duty at first, unless it's like the well-regarded games, like I believe it's Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, like the original one for the
Yeah.
story. Yeah, unless it's those kind of games, the online is mostly the selling point of Call of Duty at this point.
Yeah, and the weirdos like me who are like super into
War
the
games.
campaign and stuff like that, it's like this game is probably worth it, but it's not worth $70 in my mind.
I believe. Yeah, I believe it is. And 60, it's cool and all for a AAA game that is like new release, but 70 is a little bit overkill with the price, I believe.
Yeah, but that's also what people said back in like 10 years ago. Because remember, games back then were like $30, and now they're like $60. So now we're on the new price hike. But everyone's like pretty much okay with the $60 now because the quality's in there. Well, if they're doing $70, this game's gotta be phenomenal. Like it has to be like groundbreaking new.
True.
But usually, GTA is the one that does the groundbreaking of like, okay, yeah, we'll pay a little bit more for this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gonna be a while. Call of Duty's not gonna be the forerunner of that.
Also, speaking of GTA, I believe that GTA 6 is not coming out anytime soon.
No.
But the development of that game started a long time ago. Looking at the
I think it's
leaks.
gonna be next gen console.
Oh,
Not this generation, next one.
Would you say PS6, Xbox Series X, or just directly PS5 and Xbox Series?
No, PS6.
Fuck.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna push it there or right before
Nah.
and do cross-platform again.
If I'm being honest, the PS5 and Series X, they're barely on its infancy, and they will last a long time. I want to believe they will at least last the same amount of time the PS4 lasted. So it will take a lot of time for that.
Well, I'm
to get to-
estimating the reason why I'm saying that I'm estimating it's gonna be sometime in 2024, 2025.
Maybe 2025. It's more likely. Give it a couple of years.
Because if they're not gonna, but 2025 is around when people are gonna start expecting the new consoles anyway. We
Yeah.
would have hit that time period.
How much
You see,
did the
you-
PS4 lasted before the PS5 came out?
S-
I believe
6
since 2016.
PS4 or PS5?
PS4.
PS4 came out in 2013, the original.
And it lasted until 2019, 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, it lasted a long time.
Yeah, 7 years. Roughly 7 years.
And it's still
6, 7
going
years.
technically because there are some games releasing on PS4 too.
Yeah, but those are just like lower graphics. Whatever it could handle.
But still though. I believe they will last these 7 years even more with the PS5.
I don't
They
know.
need this
It,
shit to
it
last.
depends on consumer purchases.
Yeah, also that. I still need to check on that. I believe the Switch is getting the head start since it released way earlier than the newer Microsoft/Sony consoles. But yeah.
It's gonna be a bit before we really get into it with the new consoles, but I think GTA 6 is gonna release near the end of lifespan or beginning of the new one.
Near the end, it's more probably because
Possibly.
I believe they need, if it's, I don't know if they need also the hardware of the new console to work with.
They will.
Yeah,
but that's probably what they're gonna get early on, is be the test runners for it.
right. They will pay for
Because
that.
yeah, because most consoles, they don't release until the early adopters are like, yeah, it's a good console, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I believe the AAA studios, some of them at least, they ask for a I don't know if
No,
you
not
say
some of them. I'm almost
developer
positive a lot of them do.
Yeah, a lot of them just ask for an early version of the console so they know what kind of hardware they're working with and how to aim the game towards that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just try to port it digitally, and that's that. But yeah, I think we're a good time here to leave. We have an hour here, so we're Gucci. Do you have any other topic you want to talk about?
No, I can technically keep going if I wanted to.
All right, but let's keep it short.
Sounds good to me.
Let's see who we can rate. Do you have any person you want to rate?
VTuber or non-VTuber?
Whatever works.
No, not really. Doesn't look like anyone's online today.
Okay, let me fetch someone. There's no one live that I would like to rate on, unfortunately. Let's see on the Vtuber tag.
Is Airshow still not streaming?
Yeah, but I don't want to rate him. Just no.
Yeah, most of my friends are not streaming today.
Yeah, I believe it. Let's search on the Vtuber tag. That's a good idea. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask. Did you try Valorant? Since you're a Call of Duty guy, I believe you will.
Yes, I tried Valorant. I freaking hate it.
Understandable.
Not my game.
Okay, quick question. Is it what they say it is? A mix between CS:GO and Overwatch? I believe
Yes.
it is because it seems like it. Like the mobility is super limited, and you have the abilities of the Overwatch heroes.
The gunplay itself, ignoring the abilities, the gunplay themselves is CS:GO. You have to stand still, fire, and then move, or at the very least, crouch walk and fire. The guns, literally, there's a gun called the Op. It's called the Operator, so everyone just calls it the Op. There's a scout rifle. There's 4 SMGs, 4 assault rifles, 2 shotguns that everyone uses, and then 2 sniper rifles.
Wow.
You buy armor, head armor, body, and then your nades. But the abilities are like Overwatch, where you only have a select amount of abilities to work with. Except you have to buy those abilities. That's the only difference.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
there's only one ability that refreshes. Your primary ability is the only one that refreshes per round.
Oh, and you get to like.
You have to buy your other. So like if your character has smokes and stuff like that, you have to buy the smokes. You have to find the flash.
Oh, but they are
flash
limited
bangs.
depending on the character.
Yes.
Oh, that's
so like some characters, some characters. So like it's just like Rainbow Six, where like some of them are flashers, some of them have flashbangs by default, some of them have smokes by default, and some of them can like fight without gunplay.
Okay, I found someone. We're rating a Gundam artist. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Hope you don't mind a furry, but it's fine. This guy seems like it.
It's your stream.
This guy seems chill. Why not? Let's watch someone make. Let's keep the chills and let's just watch someone making. Talking about art. I'm making some, maybe.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Again, thank you.
Great time.
Thank you for being on here today, dude. Really
Yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
it. And thank you guys also for showing up to the stream. It was super fun to having HelpingHand here, and I hope we can get along together for another episode maybe in the future.
Oh yeah.
Most certainly I'm going to reach out about that later.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, I might stream later today myself alone, maybe, who knows. So stay tuned on Twitter. Follow me on my socials. You can check the socials for HelpingHand over here with !TG. And for the playlist is !GPL. Oh shit, didn't show up. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. We're done here. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.